Excellent. All right. Good morning, everyone. For those of you I haven't ever met before, my name is Debbie Morrow. My partner and I, Ray, here run the Real Estate Agent Referral Network and Marketing Tips. And this Thursday morning virtual coffee. And we're so happy that all of you guys joined us. It's a light call today. There's only 33 people on, but that's okay. Ray has some amazing things that he's going to share with you. It is the first Thursday of the month, so I'm off to the HBA, our local Housing and Building Association meeting, and really cool. I have the CEO of the HBA coming on with the president of one of our local home builders here to talk to you about how realtors can get involved in new construction and the HBA and everything that they're doing. That's actually May 16th. So that is one that you guys don't want to miss. Anyhow, this morning, Ray is going to share with you what do great agents know that good agents don't. So if you want to take your real estate knowledge from good to great, listen up. So Ray, thank you so much for all you do here. I'm turning the call over to you and bowing out for the rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Drive safe, Debbie. Thank you. Hey guys, good morning and welcome. If you are new here, my name is Raymond Scholseth. Been in real estate about 32 years, based in beautiful Chicago, Illinois, originally from Los Angeles, California. Today, what I wanted to do, this is not a solo mission. I'm going to ask you guys one question, and that question is, what do great agents know that good agents don't? I'm going to drop that question in the chat. What do great agents know that good agents don't? Why we are all here, I'm going to pull you guys in. We're going to talk about this, okay? This is a collective, bilateral conversation that we're going to have. And then, I don't know, maybe 20 till the hour, we'll jump into breakout rooms and talk about it. So I'm going to ask Walt to join me first. Walt, what do great agents know that good agents don't?
Oh man, so many great things. I was thinking about this. There's so many. I would say the first thing that I'll talk about, and other people might have other opinions. Good agents know they have to close deals. Great agents know they have to build relationships. And the difference seems simple, but it's dramatic, because when you're focused on just closing the transaction and finding the next one, you miss out actually on a ton of business, because the relationship turns into follow-up. The relationship turns into referrals. The relationship turns into repeat business. I don't know how many agents I've bumped into over the years that 10, 12, 15 years in the business. And they're like, I don't have any business this year. What can I do differently? And I'm like, you've been in this business for a decade and you don't have business? That something doesn't compute. And then you start talking about the relationship aspect of the business and how they've followed up or nurtured their past clients. And they haven't at all. I had a wonderful coaching call with a gal. This has been a couple of years ago now. And she said, I've been a real estate agent for 6 years. All of my clients love me. They all left me 5-star reviews. We bought lots of houses a couple years ago, and they're all listing with other agents. And I said, well, that's interesting. After you closed that transaction 5-6 years ago, when was the last time you talked to your client? Crickets. And she realized immediately that she had forgotten about the relationship aspect of this business. And now all of her future business, her repeat business, her referral business was going to other agents because they forgot her name, because she wasn't focused on the relationship. She was simply focused on close the deal, go find another, close the deal, go find another. So I would say great agents understand the value of building quality relationships and then nurturing those relationships consistently through value, so they can really blow up their business. And at some point, they'll never have to lead generation again. My 2 cents.
I love it. Thanks, Walt. Ann Rudd, where are you, Ann? You're on my page somewhere here. What do great agents know that good agents don't?
What Walt said.
All right, moving on.
That's very, very important. Guys, you know, it's like no client left behind except maybe a couple of crazy people. Because, you know, we all got them. So I think for me, what great agents know is that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I think that for new agents, you know, you've got to build on education, you've got to build on experience, and there's no way, you know, you have the skill that a 10-year or 15-year full-time agent has. It doesn't mean you can't get there. And the more you do, the more you learn and the quicker you learn it. So if you're a 1 or 2 transaction a year person, I would recommend you try to pick that pace up a little bit. If you're brand new, I absolutely recommend looking for a team to join for your first year. You're going to learn and do so much more. But you can't sit back. You have to kind of put your foot on the gas and learn as much as you can. But I say this is not a job. This is a lifestyle. It's just something you do, and you do it lifelong.
I love it. Thank you, Ann. Charles Olson, I saw you jump in here. Man, I'd love to hear from you. You are in the heart of Brooklyn, New York, where it is competitive and aggressive and tenacious. What do great agents know that good agents don't? Talk to me, man. Hold on, I have to ask you to unmute, Charles.
Yeah, I'm going to say it in a different way than Walt said it. What I was going to say, what I'm saying is, you need to know how to stay top of mind. And how do you stay top of mind? And that is exactly what Walt said. You need to build relationships and continue those relationships and come from contribution. It's not about just, hey, do you have a referral for me today? It's about how you can help your, clients and past clients and, friends and relatives with whatever their need is. It's not necessarily a real estate need, but, maybe you call them up and they need a plumber, a carpenter, a locksmith, have those resources. And what happens at that point is, you connect your past clients, your current clients, with your allied resources. And then your allied resources are grateful to you as well. And it just builds this avalanche of business that falls your way because you're top of mind. Someone hears a real estate need, I'm thinking of selling my home, or I know someone needs to sell a home, ding, 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 ding. Your name comes up to that person's head who's having that conversation at that time. So knowing how to stay top of mind is very valuable. And thank you, Monica. One of the ways that I do it, because she just texted me to remind everybody how I stay top of mind is, I have season tickets to the Brooklyn Nets. And what I do is I give them away. But I don't give them away necessarily weeks in advance. What I do is the day of the game, starting around noon, I will call up my sphere of influence, my past clients, and I will offer the tickets to them. It's a great giveaway. They're grateful. Most of the time, it's too short a notice, but they're grateful for me to think about them. And usually I get 2 or 3 or 4 two-way contacts with my sphere, and everybody's grateful. Worst case scenario is I don't get to go to the game, but for me, that's the best case scenario because I don't want to go to the game. I've seen them enough. If I want to watch them, I watch them on TV. So I give them away. Hopefully I get 3, 4 contacts out of it, and then everybody remembers me for having done that through the course of the year.
I love it, Charles. That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. Coach
You're
Monica,
welcome.
I want to hear from you.
Oh my goodness. Well, you guys are spot on. Has anyone heard this, to drive that point home? The vice president of Walt Disney, of Disney World, bought 11 homes over his lifetime. Guess how many realtors, real estate agents he used? 11. Why?
Because nobody follows up.
Yeah. So he said he could have made any one person's career had he gotten one phone call. So friends, when we don't follow up systematically, and I wholly recommend that you follow up 2 days after closing, any surprises, to a week after closing or 2 weeks. How did the move go? Do you need anything? They got water in the basement. I'll be right over there. And then once a month for the rest of your life. He could have made any single person's career because he has all these executives coming in, right? one person's career had anyone called them once, not a one call. So when we don't call them, it makes them feel like a number that you never gave a shit the whole time. And I know a lot of people here, and that's just not true about us, right? But perception is reality, friends. Yeah, get them on a drip and make those quarterly calls.
I love it. Thanks, Monica. I want to change the narrative. Let's talk about from a lender's perspective. Wendell and Danny, we got you guys on the call. What makes a great agent over a good agent? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I would echo all of that. I mean, it just I think it was Coach Monica's point with the 11 transactions. I mean, just imagine if it was that one person that makes your 1 year, and then you can say, hey, you're probably going to get great reviews from Walt Disney, and to be that person that is his go-to realtor, that's just going to build all that kind of business. And it goes the same way for us lenders too. You know, if we're not top of mind with the realtors that we work with, they're gonna just work with another lender, you know, and all of you who are realtors, you have maybe like 2 or 3 lenders that you work with, right? But there's probably one that is your go-to number one, and maybe your go-to number two. And it's important for us to be that person. You know, if we do a loan with one person, then, you know, maybe they might send us a deal or two later on. But if we connect with realtors, they're constantly getting those leads and helping realtors get those leads, like having that FaceTime with clients, having events, whether it's a home buyer seminar, and, you know, they could talk to the realtor and then they can talk to the lender. Those types of things where we're not only bringing in leads, but we're building a relationship because they see how we operate in the way we present ourselves and our products and services.
I love it. Thanks, Danny.
Yep.
Wendell, you off the phone?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm off.
What about you? What makes a great agent over a good agent?
I mean, I think when you look at where we are currently in this current market, right? I think being that personable agent, I know everybody talked about, you know, of course, touching that client, but I think going above and beyond, doing certain things, you know, whether it's, you know, I know people talked about, you know, after the home closes, you know, going out, you know, seeing the client, maybe taking some pizza, you know, after closing, you know, calling them on their closing anniversary or 6 or several months, you know, later, checking in on them. You know, if they have kids in high school that are getting ready to graduate or in college, you know, just following up with them and saying, hey, you know, I know that Raymond is getting ready to graduate college. Hey, if he's thinking about purchasing a home, you know, have friends that's looking to purchase a home, let me know. So I think just going above and beyond, especially now, you know, since you kind of see that you know, everybody is a little slow. You just kind of, you know, the agent has to think outside of the box. I mean, you can't do what everybody does. I mean, you have to go back not only to the foundation that we used to, of things that we used to do, you know, door knocking. I mean, you know, you got to do the things that a lot of agents do not want to do. You have to step out of your comfort zone and just go out there and just do things that you're not comfortable with.
Thanks, Wendell. I love it. So I want to move this along a little bit different. Walt, I'm going to circle back to you. I think there's a massive difference between a great agent and a good agent, just in the sense of working in their business versus working on their business. Can you shed some light on that, Walt?
Yeah, man, that's great. I would say that there's the difference is really a balancing act, because you got to do both, right? A good agents know that they have to work in their business, meaning I have a client, I got to show houses. I have an offer, I have to go write this. I have an under contract, I got to do the home inspection, right? We get very transactionally focused. And that's all great. We have to work in our business to get those clients to the closing table. And a lot of times what happens is we have this roller coaster of income in the real estate space, right? I made $27,000 this month. I'm freaking broke next month. I made $32,000 next month. I'm freaking broke next month. And the reason it happens is because we stop working on our business in order to work in our business, right? We service the transaction, but we put all of that business building activity, which is so incredibly critical, on hold until we close that deal. And then we go, whew, that was fun. I closed the deal. I got some money. Oh crap, there's nothing in my pipeline. And then we shift back over to, let me work on my business. Let me properly lead generate. Let me start following up again. Let me start converting some people into deals. And then we go, oh, I got some clients. Let me work in my business. And over here, it's like, hey, prospecting's still a thing. You're going to have a dry pipeline, but we forget that because we're so focused on working in our business. A great agent understands those two things always have to happen in tandem. They're not a, I'll do this, then I'll do that. You have to be doing both. And so part of that is leverage, right? Being able to leverage your time so that you're not so busy working in your business that you forget to work on your business. Some of that is leveraging people, right? A great transaction coordinator, a great administrative assistant, even something like a great team of photographers and inspectors that you trust enough to let them kind of take the lead on their professional, side of the house so that you can go focus on doing the lead generation, right? We have to be able to leverage our time and our people better so that we have the ability to, on this day at this time, I'm going to be actively prospecting, even though I have deals under contract that have to close. We have to do both.
I love it. Anne, can you jump in on this too? I think you have some perspective to share.
What Walt said.
I knew that was coming.
Look, there's so many things here that, and I think that part of the issue is being, especially with newer agents or agents that are struggling, is overwhelm.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I always coach my coaching clients is you work on one thing until you get really good at it and you commit to that one thing. And I do not want to hear from my coaching clients, well, I called expired listings once, or I sent out a mailer once. If you're going to commit to something, you commit to a year and you get so good, and then you can move to the next thing. But that is how you become great in your business. It's how you pay your bills and have so much more. And I think the other thing is that you do have to filter a lot of noise in this business. There are a lot of egos, and 98% of them are absolute garbage. Okay. I know people that have television shows. I know the work that they put in for years and years and years and years and years to get where they're at. It didn't like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to get my real estate license and get a TV show on Bravo. That doesn't work like that. You have to grind and you have to commit to it. So whatever you're going to do, commit to it long term. And understand that there's a lot of learning to be done, and you've got to master. It's mastery. I tell people I got a double PhD in real estate, and I still don't know it all. You have to have that level of mastery in your business. If somebody puts a gun to your head and says call an expired listing, what are you going to do? You better call an expired listing, and you better figure it out. So that's just my take on it is, you've got to live for mastery and be consistent. Like, do it every day. Don't be the ADHD person that I know that most of you are, like me.
Thanks, Anne. I love it. Charles, I see your hand up.
Yes, thank you. So yes, we do need to work on the business, not necessarily in the business, and in order to do that, you need the 3 L's: leads, listings, and leverage. Now, how are you going to get leads, listings, and leverage? Well, you need to do the 5 jobs of a real estate agent. There are only 5 things a real estate agent should be doing. Everything else should be delegated to your leverage. Those 5 jobs are lead generation, Job number one. Second job is lead follow-up. What's the point of generating those leads if you don't follow up with them? Going on appointments. We generate leads to go on the appointments. The next one is negotiation, right? You're negotiating for the listing, you're negotiating for the price, you're negotiating the offers. And then the last job is scripts and role play or real estate conversations. Because if you're not practicing your job, when you get the opportunity to get in front of somebody, you may not know what to say in that instance. You might not have practiced that objection. So to me, the fifth job, scripts and role play, is really, it's a circle. Because if you're not practiced, you're not going to be good at your lead generation and lead follow-up. So, you know, it's not 1 through 5, because 5 is just as important as 1. Because if you don't do scripts and role play, you're going to not be good or optimally good at your lead generation. So the 5 jobs of a real estate agent, and then you're going to get the listings, you're going to generate the leads, you're going to get the listings, and then you got to get some leverage to handle all the activities such as writing the offer, entering the data, all that other stuff, right?
I love it. Thanks, Charles. Monica, your hand's up.
So I love what Ann said about mastery, and it goes back to Zig Ziglar: be, do, have. And it takes massive action and a decision. Who do you need to be to do what you need to do to get what you want, right? And it starts with the power of intention, friends. You have to get up every morning and have that decision. And the power of intention translates right into your calendar. And I hear so many things: oh, the calendar's no fun, I can't follow it. Well, that goes into boundaries and making the decision. All right. The script that I have people and clients use for saying no, a lot of my clients say, just say no. Well, that's a great script. But a lot of people who are people pleasers and want to be liked feel that they'll lose business if they say no. The truth is, if you say, every fiber of my being wants to do that for you or with you, I look at my current commitments, I just can't do it and do it well. I'm sorry, please, you know, ask again, what have you. The people who are for you are going to totally understand. Right. And I call lead gen R&B because it sounds like a heck of a lot more fun than it does lead gen. So your R&B time, friends, just like being on a diet. How many people have gotten on a diet and you fall off the train by Wednesday and you're like, I'll start next Monday? No, you won't. No, you won't. We have to get back on that train at the very next opportunity, the next meal. And remember, when you set that daily R&B time, start at 30 minutes if that's what you got. Right? And set that intention. If you don't think you can get to it, it's time for leverage. We can get you leverage for like $6 an hour, right? On project based. Anything is possible once you decide. And always remember on your calendar, if you skip over it, don't erase it, replace it. Replace it, right? And then have a R&B backup plan. You haven't met your R&B goal, lead gen, by the end of the week. What's the backup plan? Where there's a will, there's a way. You guys can do it, but it starts here. You have to decide and get that calendar booked up. Be very intentional, because the other thing, real quick, and I'll shut up, is what I see is agents playing badminton all day. Busy, 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 right? They're like, oh, I got to get this email, I got to get this phone, and I've got to do this, and I got to eat, and I got to do all these things. But they're not intentional. They're not using any systems in their business. And your calendar, guess what, is a system, friends. It will get you to where you want to be. If you got a drunk monkey or a gremlin, I call it the itty bitty shitty committee. This guy that says you can't follow a calendar, BS. No, I disagree. It's just head garbage we need to get rid of. So the power of intention is where it's at, and make that decision. Start running your business like a business.
I love it. Thank you, everybody. We'll wrap this up and then we'll get into breakout rooms. I think one of the takeaways that I hear consistently is it's the 80-20 rule, right? What is the 20% you're putting in for 80% of the results that you're going to get? Great agents are very good at that. They understand the needle movers on the dashboard. That starts with the minimum viable day. What is the day that you can repeat? For me, it's 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., right? All kids are at school, delivered by 8:30, drive back home. 9 a.m., I'm in work mode. 3 p.m., I'm wrapping up so I can go get the kids at 3:30. Those 6 hours, Monday through Friday, that's when 80% of my results happen with that input. The rest of the results are in between. Messaging while making dinner, messaging early in the morning, voice texting while driving, whatever it may be, right? So who here wants to be a great agent or a great lender or a great 702 plan, right? It's what we want to do. We got to do that work. Okay. So I'd like to open it up for 10 minutes of Q&A before we go into breakout rooms. Who needs help being great?
It'll help
Anybody?
if you guys get great Hawaiian shirts. The rest of the greatness will naturally attract you. I'm just throwing that out there.
That is not happening, just so you know.
And I'm gonna buy you. Next time I go to Hawaii, I'm gonna go to Hilo Hari's, which is a local Hawaiian shop. I'm gonna buy you a Hawaiian print dress. I got you. I got you.
Bet.
We'll see how it rolls out in North Carolina. I love it. All right, guys, who has questions? Who has comments? Who has ideas? Who wants to contribute? William, I see your hand.
I have a question for the entire group. There was a plan that was created for school teachers in 1961. There was a plan created for employees, 1978. And today is 2024. Do you believe that it's important to a real estate realtor, agent, professional to have a plan that they could retire with and also utilize or leverage in between the times where maybe they didn't make a sale of a property, so they're a little low on the cash flow, and they could go to their plan and that could bridge them from their last sale to the next sale, and they wouldn't be without money. A, would that be important? B, do you know if there is a plan that exists? And I guess C, we are so, as an organization, excited about real estate industry because we believe in the real estate industry. And the question to that is, do you believe that as a real estate professional, that a plan like this would be extremely helpful? The floor recognizes Raymond. Back to you.
Thanks, William. Guys, William does some very unique stuff. William, feel free to drop your link so people can get it. Walt, thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right. Bruce, I see your hand up.
Yes, just wanted to make a comment or two. I've been licensed since '88 in real estate, not working with that. I help William with the 702S plan and such. One of my observations of myself and a number of folks, you may see all the brightly lit instruments behind me. My comment about real estate is you can't and probably shouldn't try to do everything because there's so many things you can do. Your comment about the 80-20, putting that 20% in, that is what makes you the money. And you just have to focus. I've not been good at focusing, and I needed the 702S plan years ago. But it's something that you simply can't allow yourself to run rampant. There's too many shiny objects. So focus. Do what suits you, fits you, find a niche, make your money. That's my comment. Thanks.
I love it. All right. Anybody else before we get into breakout rooms? Oh, Tiffany, I see your hand up. We can't hear you. No, still can't hear you. It looks like your audio is off, but we can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, there we go.
Great. I wanted to talk to the new agents because I was a new agent up to my eyeballs in debt, not knowing what I was doing. And the first thing that I would advise is to get as much knowledge as you can, get a mentor. This group has helped me so much in my journey to be able to get closer to my goals. At one point, I do want to go to your masterclass, Raymond, and be in that and do another thing to help me. But just keep your eye on the ball and keep going. Like you would think that calling expires is too much. They're doing this and doing that. But if you set a goal to like call 10 a day, you'll make your goal. Like there's no way to fail. If you just keep going, there's no way to fail. And that's just what I wanted to say.
Yeah, the only thing I want to caution everybody is, knowledge is one thing, and it's said that knowledge is power, but it's not. Knowledge is knowledge. Power is implementation, right? What are you going to do with the knowledge? I used to read hundreds of books a year only to not do anything with it. And when I changed that to reading a handful a year, but then taking one or two things from each book and implementing it, that's when I saw the change. That's when I saw the growth, right?
That's the ready aim syndrome, right?
Yeah, ready, aim, fire. Right.
Yeah, they
Right.
never fire. It's ready, aim, ready, aim, ready, aim. And then, yeah, so important. Learn, then implement. Don't learn anything else until you implement what you learned.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. Peter, I see your hand up.
Yeah, so just weird question. Well, maybe not so weird. I'm a COVID broker. I got my license during COVID, which a bunch of other people probably have.
Wait, is that an official title?
Well,
COVID
it
broker?
is now. I'm coining it. So I've been in a lot of meetings like this. I've decided to go my route. I'm not with a team. I'm 100% solo. And I like to go into groups like this to learn more about what's going on, to have that sense of community. I've been to a couple of places where I was actually in a meeting, live meeting, and then someone turned around and said, I don't know what level people are in, but maybe my question isn't for this level, because it sounds like a lot of people are not at my level. And I'm like, where is that coming from? So I don't get it. I'm the type of person like, I like to share whatever I know. Like in that same class, I started talking about RPR, and 4 or 5 of those new brokers I wouldn't have had no clue what RPR was and what that program did. And then afterwards, you started talking about that as well. I know nothing, and I learn every day. And since I've got my license, I've closed 4 homes. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's working for me because I still work a full-time job. I'm not ready to make that jump. That's my fear, making that jump into full-time brokerage.
Is that your fear today?
Yeah, I am still working my full-time job. Just like I don't see that transition from this sale, which I'm working on now. Hopefully, you're going to be closing sometime in May 15th is where I'm looking at closing. But like you said, I'm working in my business, not on my business. So there's nothing in the pipeline coming in behind it. So there's my struggle right now, and that's why I'm here, trying to figure this one out.
I love it. Walter, Ann, you want to jump in to that? Or both of you?
I would just say, right, so what we've already talked about, I'll circle back around to a little bit of it. One, prioritize, right? If your priority is to leave the current job and do real estate full-time, there needs to be some tangible metrics in place that walks you towards that goal. And that needs to be one of your number 1 priorities, so that every day I'm going to get up and I'm going to work towards that. It's not an abstract. It's not someday I hope to, right? Hope is not a course of action. You can hope, but that's not going to do anything. So let's talk about prioritizing your calendar with what I call the life, the business, and the everything else, right? Life goes first. Any appointment that you don't control the timing of, doctors, dentists, the kid's got this thing, we got a soccer match, the dog has a vet appointment. Anything that is important to your life and you don't control, that goes on the calendar first. Now, your other job will be part of that, because if you got a 9 to 5 and you got to punch the time clock, you got to do that. Then I want you to look at your calendar again, and you're going to see some white space, and you're going to go, okay, I have no excuse, because I see the gaps in my calendar where I can choose to execute some very specific business building activity, right? Lead generation, follow-up, appointments, all of that leads to more closings. And so you got to put that on your calendar on purpose in advance. And you have to put enough of it on your calendar that it starts walking you towards the eventual goal, right? I like to break down my year into monthly milestones, right? It's not rocket surgery, but a monthly milestone is a tangible, trackable metric that I can come back to at the beginning of every month and look at my business and say, am I on track or not? Did I close, I don't know, 2 deals last month? Yes or no, black and white, it happened or it didn't. Am I under contract to close 2 deals this coming month? Yes or no, black and white, you either are or you're not. And if you're not, that gives you time to retool your calendar to start doing more business building activity so that you start walking into the level of production you want. So at the end of the year, you don't go, oh crap, I'm missing this, but it's already 11 months into the year, right? So some very, very disciplined time management where you say on this day at this hour, I'm going to do some lead gen. On these days at these hours, I'm going to do some follow-up. On these days, I'm going to book some time for appointments, knowing full well that when I start my week, the goal is to set those appointments for later in the week. And then you're going to slowly start working towards a level of production that allows you to no longer fear stepping out of the job. Right? It won't happen overnight, but the consistency can start happening tomorrow. Make sense? All right, and I'll let Ann take it from there.
I don't know what to add. I mean, I think that for you, you've got to talk to more people and you got to figure it out. You got to figure out how to have a bigger audience, because the more people you talk to every day, and whether that is, you know, with your phone or through text messaging or through social media or through, you know, videos that you create, the more people that see you, the more trust you build. And the better, you know, the more people are going to come to you. And for me, I think it comes down to conversations, but, you know, 10, 12 years ago it was phone calls, but it's not that anymore. There are many, many ways you can have conversations with people and build trust without picking up the phone and dialing 35 people every day. So that's something that you have to figure out. And then you have to figure out systems. How many lead pillars do you have in your business? You know, how much time every day do you spend on talking to people? You know, you got to be talking to people and setting appointments. Right now, if that's the goal, to be full time, to make more money, whatever it is, you've got to talk to more people.
I love it. Peter, is that helpful at all?
Yeah, definitely. Just gotta do it. Like he says, just do it.
Well, it's a decision at the end of the day, right? Like, are you interested or are you committed? That becomes the question. If you're committed, you're going to decide to do it, and then you just go all in, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm a guy who jumps off the cliff and then builds the parachute or the plane on the way down, right? Like, who are you? If you have a 9 to 5, you need to do what's best for you, but you can still make that decision and make a plan of exit, if that makes sense.
Right.
Danny, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I was thinking also, you know, if you can build like an emergency fund or something like, or maybe in this case, a bridge fund where it's 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year of expenses that you can rely on that, you know, when the months are down, or somehow build a passive income. It sounds like W.H. Steiner, the 702 plan is maybe a solution towards that. I'm looking into also an avenue to make some passive income that way in those drier months. In those months where, like, you know, come October, November, you know, things are going to slow down. Doesn't mean that you won't be doing business, but things are going to slow down, especially if you're in the beginning stages of your career. People start thinking about holidays and they're like, oh, I'm going to wait until January. I'm going to wait until January. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see about 2 or 3 months where you have nothing coming in. Are you going to have like a fund or something that can cover your expenses for those 3 months? I did maybe even 6 months. And like I said, maybe even a year, you know, that way you can even just like walk away from your 9 to 5 before you build up enough business to replace your income, because you have that backup, you know, you have that safety net.
Yeah, I've already done that. Actually, I do have
Okay.
a home line equity that I just pulled in preparation to make that transition. So it's there. The nest is there. It's just now, you know, making that other step and planning that exit plan.
I can encourage you real quick, Peter. One of my clients back in the recession 07, 08, where agents were jumping off the plank of the ship right, and losing their mind, was told, not by me, because she wasn't my client at the time, go home and call everyone you know. And today that could be call, could be text, it could be a variety of things. She sold, and to say that you're in real estate, announce it, 48 homes in the first year. Anything is possible, right? The world is our oyster. You just have to decide, right? Get that time on the calendar, buddy. Get that time on the calendar, even if it's 30 minutes a day. Send out 5 minutes worth of texts every morning to everybody in your phone, right? And it could be quick. Hey, love to catch up. Maybe they respond, maybe they don't.
I love it. Guys, we got 13 minutes left. I'm going to throw us all into breakout rooms. Walt, give us a question.
Oh man. What is one way you can rekindle an old relationship today?
I love it. We'll do,
And everyone, don't forget to drop your contact information in there. These guys, no one can give you referrals if you're a secret agent and your contact information is not in
Right.
the,
no secret agents here.
yeah.
All right. I'm going to open the rooms, guys. All right. Did everybody have some good
Ray,
conversations?
You know, we don't see you, Ray. Oh, now we do. I see you.
All right. So I'm going to do 2 things real quick here. Number 1, I want to give you guys a Canva template of touch points. Okay. This is something that we've lived by and adopted. So grab that Canva template I just dropped in there. Next thing I'm going to do, if you know how to save the chat, next to the virtual coffee, above the chat, you'll see 3 dots. You can just hit save the chat and that'll save everybody's contact info. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I'm also going to upload the file so that you guys can grab it. Okay, that should be it right there. And then I will drop.
A little bit more different on mobile.
Yeah, I can't help you on mobile, but I can message it to you if you just shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger. Does anybody know how to save it on mobile, by the way? Is that an option somewhere?
Excuse me, Ray.
Hi, Denise.
Can I request in an email? Hi.
I'm
Can I
not good at
request in an
email, but
email?
I
'Cause
will
I'm on my
Facebook
iPad
message
and I
it to
don't
you
know what I'm doing.
100%. Yeah. Okay. All right,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you all. This has been amazing as always. Everybody who jumped in with me, thanks for jumping in. You guys have a fantastic day. The recording will get processed and dropped in the group.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.